what's going on? I see people are starting to come in. Reba, good to see you again. Johnny, Biker D, good to see you again. All right, we've got a lot of stuff going on, as always. And who knows where the night will take us. People are starting to come in. Welcome, welcome. Franklin, Jason, Dozer, hello. Come on in. The water's fine. Good to see you too, Biker. Glad you're here. Always appreciate the return customers. That warms my heart. All right. Jason, what's up to you? You know, it's a Friday night. It's a new month. It's all sorts of good stuff. I guess it's the second month of the third quarter, right? I think. Something like that. I've been out of corporate life for a hot minute, so I'm not paying attention like I used to. QRS, pleasure to have you here, man. Welcome. All right. Mama Jean, Alabama. What's up? Good to see you. Dozer. So let's get to tapping that screen. We need to get to 1,000 in the first few minutes just to let TikTok know we're here. So that's the first order of business. Tap, 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 tap. Get those likes up. Get us, registering on the For You page. And then after that, we've got a long night of tapping ahead, as always. All right. So I wanted to, let's see, what's first? What's first in line that I want to talk about? I came across a great, where is it? Come on. A great quote. Here we go. I'll probably read it again when more people come in here, but there's this quote. Mary E. Lease. E is her middle initial. Mary E. Lease said, Wall Street owns the country. It is no longer a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, but a government of Wall Street, by Wall Street, and for Wall Street. The great common people of this country are slaves, and monopoly is the master. Oh, I see we have a desperate attention seeker here. So that'll be that. So interesting that this woman, Mary Lease, said this. I'd like people who heard it guess what year that speech was given. You have 10 seconds because otherwise then I run the risk of people looking it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like there's no guesses. So it was 1890. That's amazing. People think this stuff is new. People think these sentiments are new. They're not. I once read a Helen Keller quote about income inequality. And she was talking about that in 1911. Tale as old as time. Dozer, good guess. 1939 is incorrect. So, just so you know, it's 1890. I was actually surprised by that because we forget how old America is, how old Wall Street is. And Wall Street right now is running everything. So some of the usual suspects won't get here for a little while because they're over at AC's live, and I don't blame them. I was on it too, and didn't want to pull myself away from it, but duty called, had to go up live. History stopped in 1936. After that, only propaganda. I don't know. Never heard that quote before. Although it's incorrect, but it I've never heard it before. Propaganda's been around for a very long time. It's almost as old as humans are. It's certainly pretty much as old as governments. George Orwell. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. That's a great quote. And, even though he got the year wrong, but yeah, I mean, that's for the man who wrote 1984, who, you know, he wasn't, some people like, oh, he was so ahead of his time. No, he wasn't. He was reporting his time. And unfortunately, his time is how people behave. And so, you know, that's always going to be true. When you capture human behavior, as Orwell did, as Shakespeare did, they're evergreen. I think Carlin was the same way. I think Carlin captured human behavior perfectly, which is why, aside from the references that he makes of his time, all of his material is relevant. And even when he like mentions a specific politician or a specific situation, a particular news item or something, he's it still sounds like he's talking about now, because again, this has been going on for a very long time. And people keep acting the same way, and governments are made of people, so governments keep acting the same way. But yeah, that's my theory. If you're good at capturing the essence of humans, what you write or what you say is always going to be relevant. It might take, if humans last this long, it might take another million years before we change at all, assuming that we change. Right now we're all born with the same software in the form of our DNA, and those instructions, I think, would take probably millions of years before they get bred out. Just for those people who are silly enough to believe in science, evolution takes time. Dozer is saying, I think there should be a mandatory case study on Moa. What is, oh, Mao, like Chairman Mao? Yeah, I mean, there's dozens, if not hundreds, of case studies that that are just like Mao that can be looked at. But what in particular about Mao do you think is compelling? I'm certain there are a few things, but To me, it's just sort of a standard authoritarian slash dictator kind of thing that he did in his country. This was happening to me the other night too. I don't know where this is coming from. Suddenly I'm yawning while I talk. I don't know what's happening here. But yeah, there was another thing that I wanted to read also. I'll get to that now and come on. This was another post that I made. Um, I wrote, border crossings are down. All it took was tearing up the Constitution, deporting American citizens and innocent immigrants to a gulag where they are brutalized, which has impacted several industries severely, and diverting billions from children, veterans, and the elderly. Great job. Lack of information during Mao's time. Hmm, I don't know. By then, the world was pretty well connected, but it's possible, I guess. Well, what we see is that even when there's an abundance of information at unprecedented levels heretofore seen in history, you still get the same result. I mean, hasn't this been dubbed the information age? And yet here we are doing the same bullshit. So, for the 9 of us in here, please remember to tap the screen. Let's get those likes up. Um, I'm actually kind of surprised. We're 15 minutes in. We're usually at somewhere around 5 or 10,000 by now. So, this is a slow Friday. Hello, Marlene. So, what are you saying yep to? I presume. Hello. I presume it's something to do with the information age that I just referenced, but I might be wrong. I'm never sure because sometimes comments come in way after I've said something, but I think I might be safe to assume that. Well, thank you, Darlene, for sharing the live. And anyone that hasn't done so, get that heart me. That's another way to let the algorithm know that people are interested in the live, and you get points for it. You get fan points for it. It's a lot of fun. I love that. That's what I do every time I come into a live. I tackle the heart meme, and I scoop up like 75, 85 points. I love it. It's a lot of fun. All it takes is you first just send the heart me, and if you add a comment, you get somewhere between like 75 to 85 points. And then if you do any of the gifts, you get more points, 1 point for every gift that you send, or for every gift point that you send. So that's kind of cool too. So, so yeah, this thing, I see a lot of MAGA hats bragging, I guess is the right word, that crossings are down. Okay, I don't dispute that. But of course, crossings are down. Immigrants see what you're doing to immigrants that are here legally, so they're scared to try and get in. But for the MAGA hats who think that that's a net positive, they're wrong, because the immigrant community puts a lot of money in taxes into the system. They put a lot of money into benefits that they can't enjoy themselves. So this myth of these immigrants getting all these benefits and all this stuff, it's just nonsense. It's not a thing. I wonder if it's an atmospheric thing. Hey, Lorena, good to see you. It was fun battling with you. I still haven't done another battle since. I got to get on that. Or thank you for being here. So, yeah, so this let me just share a few thoughts regarding immigration. America has been lied to, and America has engaged in gaslighting, especially the government, for decades now. But Dump has spent the last 10 years in a prolonged propaganda campaign to make people terrified of immigrants. Because every time, I'm going to say virtually every time he has spoken the word immigrant or referred to immigrants in any way, there were always negative connotations attached to that. Criminals, rapists, thieves, all this stuff, right? Taking your jobs, getting free benefits, all that bullshit, right? So that's what he kept perpetuating. So you shape people's brains when you do that over a prolonged period of time. It's the same thing that Schmittler did in Germany in the 1920s and 30s. Okay, over a prolonged period of time, he vilified a group of people and made people terrified of them and hateful toward them. And of course, the end result was horrifying. And Dump has done the same thing, because here's the reality of the border that the right will never tell you, and some people on the left have not told you. There is no border crisis. Period. There is no border crisis. There is a border issue, if you want to say that. You can, I don't mind using that word for what's going on at the border. I don't mind using the word issue because there is an issue at the border. And mainly what the issue is a personnel issue. Not enough people there to process all the people at the border. Not enough judges, not enough lawyers, not enough patrol agents, not enough technology. They're using old computers that are slow and in disrepair, and they don't have the scanners that they need for the street candy that comes across the border. And the reason that I know this is because in that very aggressive border bill that Frank Langford proposed last year, it didn't talk about armaments, it didn't talk about walls, it didn't talk about fences or razor wire. It didn't mention any of that. What it mentioned was lawyers, patrol agents, computers, and scanners. That's what it mentioned, because that's the issue at the border. It's not enemies at the gate, hordes in caravans. It's none of that. Listen to the language that these people use to talk about it. It's purposefully inflammatory. It's meant to scare you. It's meant to motivate you toward hatred. Oh, these filthy immigrants are pouring over the borders. That's the kind of language that they use. And nothing of the sort is happening. Absolutely nothing of the sort. Thank you for the heart me. We got Mob Mama and Space Ranger, along with Lorena, giving me a heart me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So yeah, it's just straight up gaslighting. It's straight up gaslighting. They need to scare you into voting for them because they don't have policies. Okay, it's been over 6 months, almost 6.5 months, and they only passed like one law, which was the bill, the enormous, horrendous bill. All right, that's it. They're not governing. That's not what they're there to do. My mama says, hello, good evening. FDT, free Palestine, stop ICE, tax the rich. Yes. Uh, Harold, that's fair. Gaslighting is a type of lying, but yeah, I agree with you. They are completely lying. You know, um, it's just, it's meant to enrage small brains. And propaganda works on everybody, but this particular item of propaganda about the border is directed toward dumb people that can easily be enraged over nothing. Because the border is nothing. We have a border, it's patrolled. Um, America has a huge border because it's, you know, surrounded basically on three sides by water, right? But it's not this horde of people coming here to wreak havoc. Immigrants are less than 1% of the whole population, or undocumented immigrants, right? Less than 1%. And of those, people, like of the criminal element, which is roughly 10,000 people, that's 1.6% of their numbers, right? So you're spending all this money that could feed children and take care of the elderly and take care of veterans, and you're spending it on a myth that you created. And look at their tactics. Look at what they're doing. They're not going after the criminals. They completely lied about that. They're going after everybody who's not them, right? They don't care about children going hungry here or anywhere else in the world. That's why they burned 500 metric tons of food. They don't care. They're not trying to govern. They're not there to govern. They have no interest in governing. And I know simply because of the choices that they make. Just look at the decisions that a government makes, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about how they feel about their citizens. We are batteries in the matrix. That's it. We're fodder. We are profit centers. That's it. They want our tax money. They want our consumer money. They don't care about us past that point at all. It's really insane. It's really insane. And Harold says, and when they run out of them, they're coming after the rest of us. Absolutely. History has shown us that quite clearly. History has shown us that that's exactly what happens every time. My mama says they're too scared to go after the criminals They're taking the hardworking, normal people. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sure if it's a fear thing. I think it's a typical behavior of a predator. If we look at lions on the Serengeti, when they get together in a pack and go hunt, they're not hunting for the strongest. They're not hunting for the fastest. They hunt for the weak, the infirmed, and babies, right? The ones that can't fight them off. So it's all about low hanging fruit. It's, Bunny asks, how do we get out of this mess? It's going to take more than what we've been doing. It's absolutely going to take more than what we've been doing. These 1 day protests, they have some impact. They have a tiny, tiny impact, but it's a thimbleful. It's the impact that these 1 day protests have, I think, is equivalent to the annoyance that a fly gives you when it's near your face and you're swatting it away. I don't think there's any real consequence to these things. The Montgomery bus boycott was over a year of daily sustained effort. Over a year. A night here and there, or oh, we're not going to buy from this big company. Again, good to do. I don't want people to stop doing those things. But if you want real change, you're going to have to make a sustained effort. You're going to have to call everyone all the time. You're going to have to show up in large numbers, too big to ignore. You're going to have to go to representatives and congresspeople and senators' homes and hold signs up and do that en masse also and relentlessly. Because everything that I'm going to suggest, of course, is nonviolent. I want peaceful protests. That's what the boycott was about, right? That's why the title of this live is End Times. Because I sincerely believe we're way behind right now. I don't know what the hell is happening. Why ugh. And Dave, I do believe you're right that it's going to take a revolution. And the thing is that luckily there have been peaceful revolutions. As a matter of fact, when you look at protests from 1900 to 2006, 2/3 of them that succeeded were peaceful. And of those 2/3, the magic ingredient that all of them had in common was that they involved at least 3.5% of the population. In America, that would be somewhere in the 11 to 12 million range. So let's say 12 million. And we haven't gotten near that number yet. We made a good showing on No King's Day with Ikora. My beard is still here, just trimmed down. I do this every August. The beginning of August, I normally trim my beard, and even when I had just the Van Dyke and not a full beard, I would trim it all the way down. On rare occasions, I've shaved it all the way off, but I don't like how my face looks with no hair on it, so I took it down close, but it'll come back. It didn't just run away in protest. I did it on purpose. So, as I was saying, 3.5% of the population. We need at least 12 million people in America to act in unison for as long as it takes, 1 year, 3 years, whatever it is, because that's what they did in Montgomery. They kept fighting until they won. Everyone assumed that it was going to fizzle out. That's when MLK became a superstar, because the establishment saw, oh man, these people have the power to disrupt commerce. Now, they did it on a small scale because they mostly focused on riding the bus because of the symbology of it. Or is it symbolism? Either way, a year of sustained daily effort is what won that protest, is what made people pay attention. Blue, excellent point. They did not have the internet back then. So imagine the effort that it took for people to organize before the internet. We have it easy by comparison. But that's part of the problem. We have it too easy. We fool ourselves thinking that a comment on a TikTok post is going to do it. Or, not going to Starbucks for a couple of days. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm berating anybody, because I'm not attempting to do that. Any type of protest is welcome and encouraged, but if this is a massive undertaking because the problem is massive, we're talking about a rogue government that is bringing fascism to America, and we are 60 years behind the effort. This started with the Southern strategy in the early to mid 60s when the parties switched, Democrat and Republican switched identity. And what we're looking at is 60 years of sustained effort where they built up the religious coalitions. The religions used to get laughed out of the White House. Now they have to announce who the spiritual advisor is. It's ridiculous. And they went into town halls and they got on city councils and they got into local governments and they did everything from the ground up into PTAs. They had a plan. Roger Ailes helped them a lot. Not Roger Ailes. Well, Roger Ailes was one of them, but Rupert Murdoch, really. Roger Ailes is a different thing. I think he started 60 Minutes, so I misspoke there. Rupert Murdoch started Fox for the express purpose of making sure that what happened to Richard Nixon never happened again to any Republican politician. So he spun up a propaganda machine that is in full force. I mean, Fox is the main reason that Donnie Dump has a political career. They've been swinging from his nuts for the whole time and backing him, except the first day or two that he had announced that he was running. They actually did laugh at him, but then after that, they got on board and started supporting him. And it's a huge propaganda machine. And so we're up against this well-oiled machine that's been building for 60 years. And people didn't listen to me 10 years ago when I said this was coming. And now we're here. And here's the scariest part, in my opinion, is that this is not the beginning of the fascist takeover at America. We are near the end. Everything has been put in place. Everything has been conducted. All the plans have been implemented. I think it's close to 70 or 75% of Project 2025 has been implemented. We're in the home stretch. Be Kind asks a relevant question. In your opinion, will little Donnie Two Dolls ever get caught? Well, he's been caught, right? He's been caught several times. I made a post earlier today about it. Let me get to that. So here's what I said earlier today. And now that we've got 31 people in here, let's keep tapping. Anyone that hasn't done the Daily Heart Me, have at it. I have not read Project Esther Space Ranger, but I have heard of it. And AC is talking about that right now on his live. But I am going to start getting into it because it keeps coming up. But this is what I wrote earlier and posted. If I get convicted of stealing a loaf of bread, I'd be labeled a thug and a convicted criminal. Dump paid a $2 million penalty for a fraudulent children's charity, a $5 million penalty for defamation, a $25 million penalty for a fraudulent university, an $83.3 million penalty for a second defamation of the same person, at least $355 million for business fraud, and was convicted of 34 counts in a criminal case. MAGA hats labeled him president. MAGA hats are allergic to facts. So that doesn't directly answer your question, but my assumption is that he might never face consequences for his actions. There's still a chance that he might, but there's a good chance he might not. And that stinks, and I can't stand saying that, but I do believe it is the truth. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, it's a funky situation. And like I said, we're way behind. We're way behind. Like, people were just too complacent for too long. And like last year, I was convinced that he was cooked. I thought, first of all, who in their right mind is going to vote for a convicted felon? Who's gonna vote for the guy after his abysmal performance in his first term? So since more people joined, I want to go over a couple things that I posted recently. By the way, I just found out today that Dump brought Lawrence Taylor in to work with school children on fitness. And for those of you who don't remember, Lawrence Taylor is now a registered offender. What the fuck? Like, that shit is just wild to me. So I'll read these two things again that I wrote. Border crossings are down. All it took was tearing up the Constitution, deporting American citizens and innocent immigrants to a gulag where they are brutalized, which has impacted several industries severely, and diverting billions from children, veterans, and the elderly. Great job. And I read a quote from Mary E. Lease. E is her middle initial. Mary E. Lease said, Wall Street owns the country. It is no longer a government of the people, by the people, for the people, but a government of Wall Street, by Wall Street, and for Wall Street. The great common people of this country are slaves, and monopoly is the master. And if you were here before, you don't have to answer again, but type in the chat what year you think that quote comes from. Just take a wild guess. What year do you think Mary E. Lease made that quote about Wall Street and slavery and monopoly? Thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. Beth said, I like how you spoke about MLK protesting long term, not just a day or weekend. Space Ranger says 1950s, although the apostrophe is misplaced. There is no apostrophe when you're referring to a decade, unless you say it belongs to that decade. But no, it wasn't the 1950s. Mary Elise dropped her last name given by her slave masters. Interesting. So we've got 1950s, we got 1965. Bunny says the 30s. All excellent guesses. So I was actually very impressed by this, but I'm not surprised. It was 1890. That quote comes from 1890. And the reason I'm not surprised is that I remember reading a quote by Helen Keller that referenced income inequality in America in 1911. Right? Pretty wild, right? 1890. So I've blathered on for a good long time. Anybody that wants to come up, Blue, feel free. Space Ranger, anybody who's here, come up. If for some reason you don't see the boxes, which people didn't see the other day, you go down right next to the comments. There's an icon with one blue person and one red person overlapped. You can press on that and request up, and then we'll get the party started. I mean, the party is started, but we'll get the party cooking with gas. So, yeah, I had heard Mary E. Lisa's name before, but I didn't know of this quote. There were so many amazing people over the course of history who said and did so many amazing things. Be Kind says, now our tax dollars will pay $1 billion to upgrade his plane from Qatar. Every repub voted yes, of course. Of course they did. Because the cult is in full swing. There's hardly any Republican dissent at this point. Which is, why with the, there's, we theoretically had checks and balances, but Dump is gutting that. And that's the wild thing to me, how easy it was for a group of robber barons to just completely collapse the government. Because we don't really have, of course, all the major things are still happening. We have electricity and water and stuff like that, but there are a lot of vital areas of the government that have been completely subsumed by their desire to raid the treasury and take all the money for themselves. Space Ranger, thank you so much for coming by. Have a great night. Come back anytime. I'm here Monday through Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, it's just wild to me how easy this happened. I like I always knew that what happened in Germany and all throughout history and since Germany, as far as fascism taking over a country and atrocities playing out, I knew that they could happen in America. I never bought the idea, oh, America's exceptional. It can't happen here. Of course it can. Any place where there are humans is susceptible to what humans do. This is a human thing. Thank you for keeping on tapping. We are way behind our normal pace, but that's okay. It's Friday. The living is easy. But if you can, just keep tapping. One of the things I started doing lately is tapping with two fingers, either my thumbs or I lay the phone down and I tap like a drummer and it goes by really fast. You get a lot of likes really, really fast that way. But I know some of you want one hand free for doing your dirty business. I don't blame you. I understand. Oh man. So yeah, I mean the what what Mary Lease said about Wall Street is like so prescient, and this is what I say when you capture a human issue so accurately, it's going to be evergreen. Because we're talking about greed and the people who are greedy and what that means. She referred to one of the consequences as slavery for the great common people of America and referred to monopoly as the slave master. That's pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild stuff. But that thing about Lawrence Taylor really threw me off. I don't even know what to say about it. It's like this is a man behaving with impunity. And unfortunately, unfettered power in the hands of a corrupt person is always going to be problematic. So you've got the Supreme Court who July of 2024, July 1st of 2024 decided that presidents have to have immunity, and that goes against every founding principle of America. Why have checks and balances? Why have laws at all? Why have a specific structure to government that suggests very clearly? It doesn't suggest it, it spells it out. Like here are the limits of power, and here's how that power is going to be limited. And Dump has dismantled all of that. And when the Supreme Court issues an order, as they did in the case of Abrego Garcia, and the order is 9-0, all of the justices told Dump, this is what you have to do. But they forgot that just last year, they told him, you don't have to worry about anything. Do whatever you want. We're going to provide cover for you. We're going to do the thing that is the very reason why people who wanted to leave England came to America. They wanted to get away from a tyrant who had unlimited power. This is a man who could walk down the street and say, "Off with his head." And without a trial, without the opportunity to face his accusers and defend himself in front of a judge and a jury of his peers, that man was perished from the earth. So when they came here, they said, all right, we're going to need, uh, we're going to need a government to run things and, do all the stuff that governments do, which is mainly provide for the infrastructure, right, and protection. So we're going to need to form a government, but we're going to make sure that that government does not concentrate power in one person the way power is concentrated in one person in England. And 249 years later, almost to the day, it was 248 years, 362 days, or 61 days later. No, 62. 262 days later, the quote unquote Supreme Court said, nah, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that anymore. We're just going to give the president the power of a king. We're going to give him immunity so everything he does is legal. And I know there's some nuance to that, and I know that's not like 100% accurate, but it's too far for what America was established to be. It crosses the line and gives power to one person. This is madness. Dave writes, I'm up early to taxi granddaughter to activity. It's the little things that keep me sane. Yeah. I agree with that. You gotta make sure you're taking care of your mental health. That's something that I work hard to do every single day. I wish I didn't have to. I wish it wasn't the kind of challenge that it is, but it is. And every day I'm in that battle. All right. Another water break. Kathleen, cut back the news. Excellent suggestion. I never watch mainstream news. The only thing that I'm aware of from mainstream news occurs when a podcast will play a clip from a mainstream news source. Otherwise, I do not voluntarily watch mainstream news at all, and I don't care which side's news we're talking about. I would easily make the distinction that the right is engaging in more harmful propaganda, but they're all engaging in propaganda. And this is a problem. Blue says, Yoda, have a few bots being a privacy nuisance, I think is the word you were going for. You can't join. Huh, that's interesting. Let me see if I can invite you. So I assume you changed the settings that you were looking into. I've never heard of this before. All right. You're not grayed out. I sent an invitation, so let me know if you got it. How would bots stop you from joining? I've never heard that before. Oh, the invitation booted you? That's interesting. Yeah, let's try it again. See what happens. All right, sent another one. Hey, looks like second time was the charm.
Hey, hey.
How you doing?
It does it often when I show my face on my picture for some reason. I get a lot of alerts, but it's okay. We're
What
good.
kind I've never seen this. I've never heard of this. So what kind of alerts do you see?
Um, uh, it just kicks you out and you have to like reboot, restart, come back in, that kind of thing.
It kicks you out of the invitation or out of the live?
It doesn't give you an option to join up, even if your settings are set, and then it will freeze. You can tell because it like freezes up certain things when you're typing. It
Interesting.
does like a bunch of, yeah, it does. It only does it to this account when it's one, not private, and two, I show my picture. But don't worry, I'll fix that later.
Traffic man said,
Yeah.
"I'll be right back." Interesting. Okay, cool.
All right,
Glad you're here.
man.
So I will make a dealer's choice. You can either talk about any of the stuff that I'm talking about, or I have another idea of a completely different direction we can go in. I'll leave it up to you. Hey,
Different
Penny.
direction.
Different direction. Excellent. Subject, you're about to hear it. I was talking about politics and the train wreck that is America right now, but um, we're going to change that. And
Wait, hold on.
I'm,
I'm gonna. Can I pull back? Actually, I like that topic.
oh, you like that topic? Okay, sorry.
I'm
I
reading through the
thought I
comments. I
heard
think
change
I
topic, but I was running my mouth at the time, so I didn't hear correctly.
I definitely
So
said
I'm
it,
going to
but
do
I'm
both.
holding.
I'm going to do both. We have time to do both. So what are your thoughts on the current subject matter?
I am alarmed that so many things are passing so flagrantly and so freely as if there isn't law. And it's disturbing to me. And it makes me, I've just never seen anything like it. Like, democracy is literally being attacked right now. It's not like, hey guys, let's wait a couple more months, see how this plays out, and then we might have to like, put our fists up. It's literally happening right now. And people
Yeah.
aren't realize it's not connecting. And that's frustrating, but also I don't know what to offer to resolve. And so that's the new territory position I claim to
The
be in,
only
I
thing
think.
that I would change in what you said is that I don't see it as democracy is being attacked. I think we're way past that. I think democracy is being subsumed.
Mm.
That's what I really that's what I really feel right now. Like they're like all of the people in Washington D.C. that are in the Senate and in Congress, they are referred to as lawmakers, right? And
Mhm.
they're the ones that have the power to change all of this. So when the lawmakers are involved in the takeover, then where do you turn?
When the reps aren't repping, it's when you start yelling, ref, 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 ref.
And this has never been a representative democracy. That's just the propaganda. It's called a
Mm.
representative democracy, but the Electoral College makes sure that that's not true. And then now, when you have gerrymandering and redistricting and all this other horseshit and voter suppression, these are the lawmakers that are working against we the people. And so, to address the statement that you made about what to do about it, what's the solution? What's up, traffic man? How you doing?
Hey,
Yes,
traffic.
sir. How are you tonight? Hot and
I
blue.
am
How are you?
wonderful. I'm fat and fully fed, so I'm good.
Looking sharp with this new haircut. Whoop whoop.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh, you didn't even shave the
Hey.
beard.
it's temporary because
I like it.
I do this every August. It's just a thing. Like usually the first week in August, because we go into dog days, I shave my beard
You're sharp.
and you know, I let it grow back and then, trim it into its thing or whatever. Uh so Rumbles, what's up, man?
Oh, I try to figure out how to turn the Black Sabbath off here.
Okay, yeah. So we
I bought
Sounds like
Oh
he's in a
boy.
take the music
a
off.
rock party.
Listening to Eye of the Tiger, it sounds like.
now Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay. So while you work that out, I'm going to mute you. Whenever you get that sorted, come on back. So to address what you said about what to do,
Huh.
I see only one answer that's appropriate, and then the inappropriate answer makes itself obvious after that, which is peaceful protests, right? That's the appropriate response. And the challenge to that is the challenge that I've been talking about for decades, which is America is not united. For starters, we've got roughly 20% of the population that openly and enthusiastically supports a pedo dictator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a pedo thief dictator. This guy is stealing right in front of their eyes. Sneakers. He wasn't selling sneakers to sell sneakers. He wasn't selling trading cards to sell trading cards. He was doing that to take in dark money because because of how those things are structured, you can get paid by anybody to when you sell those things, right? And crypto is even worse than that. Crypto is essentially completely anonymous. So he's stealing right in front of us. He's taking gifts of $400 million planes right in front of our eyes, just defying the emoluments clause, all of that, right? So that's a big chunk of the population. 20% is a really significant part of the population. And when you consider the fact that 30 to 40% of the population is just checked out, then it's up to a small group of people that hopefully is larger than the 20%, although so far it hasn't been, right? Because that's how the election was lost, was that fewer people voted for her than did him. So when you look at all of that, it's not a promising picture. We don't seem to have the numbers to do what needs to be done. But I'm hoping that despite the appearance of that I'm wrong. Autumn, how you doing?
Good, Yoddah. How are you? I'm doing
I
okay.
am excellent. I'm excellent. What's on your mind?
Um, Fascism, I guess.
Same as me.
An exit strategy is becoming more and more apparent that has to become more tangible in my life as time goes on, I think. It's pretty sad.
So what I was talking about earlier is the example that was left for us by MLK. The bus boycott in Montgomery lasted for just over a year, and it was daily sustained effort. That's why, as much as I encourage people to do I'm not going to shop here for a day or whatever it is, or a weekend, great. But that's not going to get the job done. It's going to annoy some people. It's going to make some people lose some money. And some of those people aren't going to like that. But that's not going to move the government That's not going to make the government respond to us. We have to let them know there's more of us than them, and we mean business. And I don't know exactly what the tactic is. I don't know exactly what to focus on. The only thing that comes to mind, or things that come to mind, are phone calls, emails, letter writing, showing up, meaning showing up at Congress, showing up at Senate, showing up at these representatives' homes if need be, just making them understand that we're here and we mean business. Because think about how the law works, right? It's not called law pretty please. It's called law enforcement. Because what they're saying to you is, if you don't play by the rules, we are going to force consequences on you, right? Because the law can't stop anybody from doing anything, right? The law is an attempt to codify morality, firstly, and then secondly, to set up a set of consequences when you defy the morality that is codified. And we have to be like that. We have to be able to say, because this is how the government responds to our demands. Or what? That's how the government responds to everything that we demand of them. If we say we want health care, or what? We want child care, or what? We want free college, or what? And we have not answered that question. And that's the question that needs to be answered. What are you prepared to do? And I'm quoting Sean Connery from The Untouchables. What are you prepared to do? Until we answer that
So,
question, we're fucked. This is what we are going to find ourselves in the same place that Germany found itself in the 30s. There is no fucking doubt in my mind about it.
well, so for my demographic, we're already basically we've been living in it, the start of it anyway, for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so. Um, have you have you been up to speed? Are you up to speed on the American Eagle clothing brands, the controversy surrounding that
No.
as of the last couple of days? Right. So they had a pretty white tea celebrity woman. I can't remember her name.
Hold on, I'll
Um,
find it.
sure. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is quite clearly, uh, if you're on the political left, you won't have any difficult time like understanding this for what it is.
Sydney Sweeney.
So yeah, Sydney Sweeney. Well, she's some sort of a model, I think, or whatever. Anyway, she posed for an ad, right? And was talking about her jeans, but it was nothing but dog whistling for white tea supremacy. And I mean like they like white like I mean legit white tea supremacy, like genetics, eugenics. It's pretty
Same
gross,
as it
pretty
ever was.
reprehensible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is pretty gross.
I
Yeah.
it's
did.
pretty
I
it's
did hear a passing
yeah.
comment about it on as I was doing something and listening to a podcast, and someone mentioned it. I didn't pay much attention to it because this is the same as it ever was, as far as I'm concerned. For my
Well, so
demographic, I've
so
been living this for 61 years.
Sure. So the reason that this one in particular is kind of fascinating, I think why some of us kind of, I guess, are attaching to this is because it is a stark like reality check on like who holds what power at the moment, right? These corporations, the I don't know if they're taking sides. It's hard to say. But the idea that anybody in a leadership position at that company could get that ad, like a legit white supremacy piece of propaganda ad, like attached to a mainstream brand like that, um, it's a huge indicator, right? I was listening to a couple of streams or podcasts or whatever, and it kind of pieced together my own opinion of it, and that is that, white supremacists are talking to each other online, and we're listening to them say they're winning, right? That's how they're talking about it amongst each other when they watch that commercial.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's not great. Sorry about the ice cubes.
no worries. Yeah, I mean, again, this has been going on for a long time, even before the internet. I think Traffic Man was talking about this. Even before the internet, um, there were message boards and stuff, or not before the internet, before social media. There were message boards where people talked about this, these 4chan groups, all that shit. This stuff has been going on. It's been going on. I mean, I got my first computer in '98, and I know that it was going on even way before that. So, this is and companies, of course, are taking sides because companies are run by humans. So, of course, that you've got owners that push one ideology or another, and they they tend to be populated like I was in corporate sales for decades, and those tended to be split down the middle because there was nothing in most sales organizations that had anything to do with political affiliation. But there are some business owners who make sure that they hire people who are like them, especially private business owners. And so it's not unusual to see these companies, even companies that you wouldn't think would back this kind of thing. They're supporting Dump and all the shit he's doing. I mean, look at what happened to these MAGA bro podcasters, Joe Rogan and the rest of his ilk. They swallowed the gravy whole, man. They were, now a couple of them are like, oh, this is not what I voted for. And I'm like, well, then you're a fucking idiot because he told you he was going to do all this shit.
Well, I will bring up to the Sydney Sweeney jeans campaign. I I
And
don't
who the
have
fuck
regular
is she?
television.
I know the name, but
I
what was she on?
right. I have no idea. She's some young, attractive looking female kind of a thing. It's one of those things. But I would have not been aware of this campaign if it wasn't for things like TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Um, and the just so like I caught this kind of thing in the backlash, if you will. And when I saw the first commercial, I guess, if you will, I was kind of like, meh. But then apparently there's multiple commercials with her claiming about, like my jeans are the best and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, that this is too much, so
Do you think she's a witting participant to this? Is there anything
No,
I,
in her? Because I recognize her
it's
face, but
I don't think she had any clue what she was getting
Oh, I
herself.
do.
correct.
I don't think she had any idea.
Blue, you think she did know? Why is that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's just an opinion. I'm not right and I'm not wrong. And I'd love to preface with that first, because I respect everybody's angle. But I will say that it's funny how, as humans, we tend to need to see it and touch it in our physical realm within a arm's reach distance between you and your mailbox for it to become real, right? And that's what's going to happen with a lot of these law changes. And that's when shit's going to get real in about 6 months. But as far as the ads, it's the awakening of knowledge and something you pass by as like, it really doesn't affect me, whatever, it's another ad. And you brush it off to where all of a sudden you're now in tune and awake. And when that happens, you now stop and you look at the ad for what it is and what they're trying to say in the ad. They're getting much more intense with the message. And the message to me, that ad was that genetics are important. And it was very anti trans, it was anti LGBTQ, it was anti any gender other than white, blue eyed, blonde haired girl. And so there's the people that pass by the ad and will look at it and say, yeah, okay. And then there's the average person who might not look that way, would be like, well, shit, I don't look that way. That makes me kind of feel shitty. And then there's like the new age of like, well, hold on, what is the message behind it? Because there is an approval process in a marketing company that they have to go through to hit all of these T's and I's before it's approved, to make sure it's gender neutral or it is doesn't have an underlying message. But when those CEOs and CEO marketing managers approve these messages, not taking that into account, overlooking DE and I, which now is no longer, it's been wiped out, so there's no protected rights there. You can start to be awakened in your own self for a second and say, whoa, there is a battle here. And this is something that I think Yoda was alluding to, was that this is not new to him. He will see
Right.
ads and it's not, they don't speak to him because they don't look like him. And we, majority, me, I, let's say, would be like, oh, whatever, just an ad. It's an ad on jeans. No, dude, it isn't like an attack
All
to,
right.
I see it differently
Maybe I
now.
missed it, but I don't think I heard the answer to how do you know she was aware?
How can you not be complacent in that and knowing exactly what your script is? She's not a
You're an
doll.
actress. You're an actress reading a script. Why would she know what?
But
Why
she's
Correct.
would
not.
she?
She's not a doll. She's a
It
smart
doesn't
woman,
matter.
and
She's a
she's
person. Do you
clearly
think that do you think that people never can be used for their celebrity without knowing the purpose that they're being
yes.
used for?
But
So
So
she
you don't. So
also
you,
could
what?
have
So all right. So
handlers, which
in your
causes a lot of
opinion,
psychological
she knew because
manipulation.
why wouldn't you know? But it's so you don't have any
But
like a quote from her suggesting that she knew that what was going on. There's no
fair,
history of her speaking like this.
fair question, fair
there's no indicators or
statement.
evidence to suggest that she's a willing
Correct.
Yeah,
Truth.
participant.
and again,
Correct.
those
Correct.
the lack of indicators doesn't mean that she doesn't feel this way. I just was looking to see if maybe there was any concrete thing that we could point to say, well, she's been on talk shows and sometimes the conversation goes in that direction, or she made a Twitter post about this, something like that.
I'm not.
I
I'm not fame hungry, but if I were to pursue that route where I wanted that attention of being a famous person and what comes with that, I would be fine proof reading every detail and I would see it for what it was. You have a whole team that you hire to help
but
you with
Yeah.
that, no?
I've known a lot of famous people, and to them, a gig is a gig. And when
correct.
you're talking about, because wasn't the product actual jeans?
That
Yes.
was the
Okay.
Yes.
underlying
So the
joke.
thing is,
Yes.
so
Or
if you're a celebrity and you have a team and you see the word JEANS, you
oh
might
no.
not pick up that there's a double meaning to this thing.
Oh no. Do you have a computer that you can like flip the screen and show this ad? She's saying clearly in it, she's speaking of the importance of like it is so blatantly obvious in the
It
script
was
that she
blatantly obvious
speaks.
to you, which doesn't mean it was blatantly
So
obvious to
okay,
her. She
Which,
so
was
and I'm
born
the
in
one
Well,
that she's,
1997, so she's
right,
not
correct.
that's
like
and then
Correct.
there and
yeah.
there's
I
the
think if you
issue.
saw
In
it, you might be saying it,
I
you might be thinking, I'm
I
just gonna
I
say,
wouldn't because
watch it
I've
first.
seen this happen before. I've seen this
right.
happen before where actors were used for their celebrity and didn't realize, because also there's editing. Sometimes, you read the script one way And by the time the final cut comes out, you go, that's not what I said, right?
Correct.
Oh,
S-
that is
I,
absolutely true. And
I
you're
will
100% right. And she's
I
safe
will say
in
this.
that
I
space.
will say this. In the defense of Sydney Sweeney, what I will say is this is that she did not come up with the script.
But she
He
must
did
be
not.
stupid as fuck at this day and
Well,
Oh,
age to
and
be
there's
I
no
mean,
okay with
possible way
that
for that to
script.
happen, right?
I mean, listen,
Touche.
listen. This may be ignorance as far as the industry is concerned, but like when it comes to actors and
Guys, women are
actresses, like
smart.
Yoda
We're
said,
not fucking
well,
stupid, okay?
But people
no.
can
That's
be
not my claim.
stupid. It's not that. Please stop
Correct.
making it that.
Right.
Please. I'm begging you. I don't
I
want to
got
go
you.
through
My
another night of this kind of bullshit.
It's not
Let's
bullshit,
just
one.
it is bullshit to just
It's not.
to make a statement women are not stupid when no one is suggesting that they are.
But how could you make that kind of money and be an intellectual human to have all
Are
these
you
other
suggesting that there are
young
no smart rich
humans?
there are no dumb rich
Hold on.
people? There are no dumb successful people? Are you really
That's
saying
my
that?
point. That is my point. She's smart as fuck and she knows
How do you
exactly
know?
what she
How do you
did.
know how smart she is?
He's saying she's not smart.
I'm
And
saying I don't know whether she's smart or stupid. And by the way,
right,
smart
right.
people get conned all the time. Con artists actually prefer smart people because
She's beyond
psychologically
calm.
speaking,
Right.
they tend to be easier to con because they think they can't be conned. The film 6 Degrees of Separation was a literal example of that. It's based on a true story where this guy went around to wealthy people, supposedly very intelligent people, and claimed to be the son of Sidney Poitier and conned them.
Just like Hitler did to many
Schmittler,
smart
Schmittler,
Schmittler,
please.
just like Schmittler had done, Mustache Man had done with many people, smart, not smart, male, women, a whole slew of people was able to get them under his
What?
retainer.
In any
So
event,
so
the buck doesn't stop with her, and
no.
she's
That
not
was
right.
that was
Like,
my point. Is
yeah,
there was an entire marketing team. We're talking. You know, these things go through many levels of ridicule before they hit the airways.
And
And you
right.
have to think that somebody at some point should have looked at this and been like, you know, we are in the year of our Lord 2025.
She's representing
Maybe
Levi.
this isn't the best direction we should take
So
with this ad.
therefore, could you agree, traffic? Maybe we disagree here, but could you not agree like, oh, she's just a person, she's just a
Uh,
representative, she's a face? No,
listen,
this went
listen.
through. Hold, no, don't tell me to listen. I'm not done
Go.
talking.
Oh no,
Hold
go
on,
ahead. Go ahead.
hang
Sorry.
on,
Go ahead.
please, please.
I'll mute up. I'll mute up, please.
Here's the thing. You know, you have been in corporate America. You know how when you get that ad pushed out, how many hurdles it gets to go, it has to go through before it's released. It's not like an off the whim. You know that. You've said it before on Yoda's lives. The thing is
But I
with that ad is that it had to go through multiple levels of approval. Yet to me, that would not fly under any DE and I leadership of anyone that's a woman or of color, other than having an intention to mass influence someone somehow, some way.
I
but
It
agree.
is not
but
natural.
at the same time, you kind of disprove your own point here. Is we're talking about the end user who is Sydney
Right,
Sweeney in this
right.
campaign,
And she's not a
and
part of all of that. She's
Well,
something
correct,
she's just
correct.
separate.
she's the
My
mask. I
but my
get that.
point is, if she looks at this campaign and says, "Hey, all of this has gone through all the PR, all of this has gone through all of management, and everybody has given it the approval," then what's the big deal about me putting my face on this?
That's fair.
That's the thing. That's the
So I
problem
get
here.
what you're saying. Like she should
Right.
not get the shit for it. I guess.
Well,
I
well, we
guess.
don't know.
I'm
That's the
But
point.
we would
Well,
correct,
never
we're
correct.
trying
know.
That's
to
the
look
important
at
part.
both sides of the issue. None of it has to do with whether she's smart or stupid. It just has to do with the reality of how this process takes place. You
Correct.
Mhm.
know, and very often celebrities don't have the final say in this. And again, very often you could have a celebrity, because I know how this process works, in terms of reading content or editing video, right? You could have a celebrity in for 15 different sessions over a 3-month period, where today they read these many lines, and today they filmed this, and today they filmed that, and that celebrity will have no idea what the finished product is going to look at. And all of the people that are involved with protecting her, theoretically, are not interested in protecting her. What they're interested in is making money off her. So all her agents, all her managers, all her representation, they make a cut of of the work that she does. So they're motivated by their own self-interest. Okay? So this idea that people are going to look at something not knowing what the end product is going to look like, and somehow uh, knowingly participate, even though it's absolutely possible, it's not guaranteed.
Putting Sydney aside, like the character herself, what she wants to be, and putting all that completely to the side, the intention of the company, regardless of what actor signed on and trusted whomever to do whatever, because it's a trustable company. The fact that, putting, like I said, actress aside, the intent behind the ad was so deliberately against minorities, against anyone that was not a white female
YT.
male, YT, excuse
I-
me, because we're children on this app, unfortunately. They forget we're adults.
Sorry. Blue.
It's frustrating.
Hey, Yoda. Thanks so much for having me up.
Of course, Jeannie. How are you doing?
Doing all right. And I just kind of jumped in not knowing what this was about, but I surmised from what you guys were talking about. But Blue, can I mention something? This is not trying to be devil's advocate or anything like that, but listen. Could it be that American Eagle is actually just so daft and so privileged that they didn't even realize the actual implications?
That's happened in the past.
Of
That's definitely happened in
no,
the past.
and listen, I'm not saying it wasn't intentional. What I'm saying is that it's also possible that they're just so completely oblivious that they didn't even realize what they put out there.
I don't know.
And not to say that it's not to say that it's
if
like
I'm
any
applying for
better.
a marketing job, the competition better be way the fuck smarter than me. And if they get that
Right?
job, if they get that, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not hiring someone from, just like East Bumfuck that doesn't know shit left and right.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
these assumptions are not
But wait.
really resonating with me. Like the idea that everyone does their job at a high level all the time, and then human mistakes can't be made, is just I spent 36 years in corporate America, and these were multi-billion-dollar multinational companies, and they did dumb shit all the time.
And not just that, like I actually watched a girl on TikTok, but she used to be the American Eagle social media manager. So she went into talking about like actually how kind of daft and ridiculous it was that the higher ups never kind of they didn't even care about who their demographic was. They were just trying to be better than Abercrombie. Apparently that was their whole thing. And she kind of was talking like into that whole thing. But as what Yoda was saying, I do not put it past them that they're just too stupid to realize what that ad was. They thought it was clever. Okay, listen, again, first of all, I completely understand the eugenics of it. And I thought it was fucking disgusting.
So
But the thing is that
let me
we
bring
are
I'm sorry.
let me
Finish your
just
thought.
finish real quick. It's okay. we are actually, I think we're not reading too much into it. I think we are just actually more civilized and actually evolved than the people who are making this particular ad. I don't even think they thought about it. Because did you see their fake apology? Basically, they just talked about, "I'm sorry, we didn't realize how big Sydney Sweeney's boobs were, and we're gonna send people to the Gene, like GEAN, what is it? Some camp, like basically Gene, sensitivity camp."
That's pretty
So like,
fucking
it's like
smarmy.
they didn't,
It's brilliant.
right,
But
That was
see,
all deliberate.
but
All
see,
of
right.
here,
that.
the issue that I have with this is we've seen advertising campaigns throughout history fail
So let me
miserably.
build on that because that's exactly where I
Please
was
go
going
ahead.
with what Jeannie was saying.
Yes.
So some of us, and mostly the older people, will be very clear on this because someone mentioned Brooke Shields in the chat earlier with regard to this. You might remember the outrageous controversy that was caused when she did an ad for jeans, and it had nothing to do with what she said in the ad.
Yep.
She was alluding to something in the ad because she said nothing comes between me and my Calvins, I think it was, right? But the fact
Yes.
that there
And
was
most,
a long, slow, lingering crotch shot, and she was a teenager at the time when
Hmm.
Yep.
she did the
Yep.
ad.
yes.
So here's this big, famous company with lots of managers and lots of people that are paid lots of money to make sure that their image is spotless and continues to be pristine through time, and they fucked up big time. And nobody, included Brooke and her mother and her father
Hmm.
and her management company and her lawyers and her PR person, figured it out either.
Yep.
This
No,
That
happens.
is
you're absolutely
why
correct. You're
that's why
100% correct with that. Yeah.
Can
that
I say
that's why
something real quick?
today the
Okay.
legal implications and the not even NDAs, it's just in the contract of these big CPG companies that they want to protect themselves from what the damages could have been from that ad that weren't, and that was how many years ago. Now it's like like to be an analyst in an industry and traffic man, you know what I'm talking about. You have to give demographics from like 8 sources on who's black, who's white, what's the percentage, what's the brand knowledge, what's the price range,
YT.
what's the ROI
White
on
tea,
invest.
please.
Mm,
White, excuse me,
yeah.
white star, white whatever, white heart.
Wait a minute. We
No,
can't
white
say
tea.
white, but we can
But
say black.
Well, some
if
people say
a
you can't say
It
either,
if a
but
brand director,
Oh,
right?
okay.
If
Oh,
I have
good.
to
Okay.
TikTok's weird.
if I have to
Mm.
sell a story to a brand director, I have to make sure I cover those T's and I's before it's approved by him or her,
But
because I have to sell why I think if we go after this demographic and we'll have the highest return because they
okay,
are
I
our
get it. You're
biggest
staying on the idea that
purchasers.
there are checks and balances. I'm going to go with humans do what humans do. This could have been on
Mm,
purpose. That might not have.
that's
I get
naive.
it.
That's a naive thing to say because I'm
It's
trying to
not a naive
explain to
thing to
you
say.
it's
We see
not
it
an
play out all the
industry.
time.
It's not an industry that you're interested in right now, and
no.
I'm trying to inform you that
It's an industry
it
I've
is
actually worked
so.
with before.
I know you have, and you don't
So the fact that
anymore for a
I'm not
reason, and
interested, I
why
don't know what
I
that even
hate,
means.
But see,
and why
but
it's
see,
not a personal attack.
but Blue.
It's a there's a reason. If they're going to invest $1 billion into it, they want 8 analysts to tell them what demographics they're going after and how to say it, why to say it, when to say it, and what time of day and hour. Like, it's
But
not what you guys think, like loosey goosey throw that advertisement out there. It
No
is
I
one said
I
anything
incredibly
have,
about being
strategic.
loosey
but Blue,
What?
goosey. I don't know
Blue.
where
I
this
have,
argument is coming
Don't
from.
attack the
Nobody said
words.
that.
Think of what I'm saying, the content, not the words, okay? I'm not
No
being
one
a
even
dick.
alluded to that. We actually
Right.
said
No,
that
I'm just saying,
people
don't
can
attack the
take
words I'm
great
saying. Listen to
care.
what I'm saying.
People can look. I'm not really in the mood to argue, so
Neither am I.
so then stop arguing with me, okay? Because we've
Okay, wait,
covered this
wait. I kind of
already.
want to argue with her.
We've covered this already,
What?
and you keep doubling down on it, and that's fine.
I'm
But at
not
a certain point, we
doubling
got to
down.
move
I'm
on.
informing you.
May
Okay,
may
wait,
I
wait, wait.
introduce a
Can
different
I
subject?
wait, traffic, before you do that? Can I
Okay,
just, and I'm
please.
not going to argue
Go ahead.
with you, Blue.
Before you do
Not at
that,
all.
I want to say hello to Danny because he's been waiting patiently as he always does. Danny, thank you so
Danny's
much
awesome.
for coming up. How did the rest of AC's live go?
Went real good. We got him up to 105,000 likes before the end
Wow,
of the show.
Awesome.
spectacular.
And he had a great
Oh,
show,
yeah.
very informative. So it was awesome. And of course, then I got to plug my new show on Sunday, of course, which I'll be talking about later at
Excellent.
the end of your show. But anyway, yeah, it was great and absolutely fantastic. And of course, I'm got a little friend of mine here wanting to lick my face, and
And it's not just grandma this time.
Danny,
Yeah,
so
right.
love you,
There you
anyway,
go.
man.
he wants
Yoda.
grandpa time, so here he is. So anyway,
Yeah,
thanks for giving me a chance to say
of
something. You
course.
got a hell of a panel here. So
Yes.
let's move on to the next person.
Yeah, and yeah, grandpa's got his new dog Lucky, and that's a good thing. And you said what, 10
We
weeks
need
old?
pictures, by the way.
Yes, he's 10 weeks old. We just got him this morning about 11 o'clock our time here in Pacific.
Congrats, man.
Spectacular. Spectacular.
Yeah.
So Jeannie, you were gonna say.
Grandpa, sorry.
Yes. All good. Sorry. So, firstly, I want to go for Danny's puppy because I can't help myself. Okay, Blue. I get what you're saying, and I also agree and disagree. So, okay, first of all, I had a thought. Like, we're all kind of arguing about singular, particular advertisements and or the way marketing is going. However, I can't help but notice patterns. My brain just works that way. Have we not noticed the way that? And I know, like, listen, I didn't think this was gonna. I didn't notice this was gonna. I didn't hope that this would happen, but like the whole like, fuck DEI or DEI is canceled thing. But now that has kind of grown into like even looking at things like this year where pride parades and pride celebrations were way less funded, not just in the US but also in Canada, because people are like, oh
So
well, fuck it, wait, let me finish real quick. And they're like, because now that we don't have to do this and now that it's not going to affect our bottom line, then fuck it. And not just that, but also things like, you know, Black History Month and or other things like that. Have you not noticed the fall in this? And that is then being reflected in marketing and advertisements. They're not necessarily trying so hard to like include or reflect the actual diverse population of their countries. I'm talking about Canada and the US right now. Canada's a little different, but the US right now. And I think that's what happened with American Eagle. I think they thought, well, you know what, fuck D, not fuck DEI, but they're like, well, now that we don't really have to care and or it's not something that's going to actually affect our stock prices, we're gonna, because I think they were going to go with Renee Rapp,
May, may I add
right?
one
Yeah,
thing?
well, hang on,
And I'll
gentlemen.
mute
Absolutely.
up.
Hang on. Go
Yes,
ahead.
please.
Finish your
No,
thought,
that's fine.
please.
Thank you. That's all I was going to say. They were actually going to do something else
You said Renee
and
Rapp?
then changed. Yeah, Renee Rapp,
Okay.
right? Who I think is actually very proudly queer. She has like piercings. I think she might be biracial. I will have to look into that. But there's too many other things I'm looking into. But anyways, And then they dropped her for Sydney Sweeney. So then you have to wonder again, think why they chose her. She recently just had a campaign with what is it, Mr. or Dr. Squatch soap, where they sold her bathwater in a soap form.
Oh Lord.
Who do you think? Who do
Yep.
you think that? Who do you think that is targeted towards? Incels.
MAGA hats.
Incels. and who? Mega heads and incels, but also not just that.
Yeah, you're being
but who are
redundant, but yeah.
incels? I know, but exactly, but not
Sing
just
tonight
that.
for us, girl. We love you. You're like
What,
famous
me?
on your right.
Are you kidding?
Did you?
I will
sing?
absolutely sing for you. Are you kidding me? But let me finish this. So, not just that, but incels are totally synonymous with MAGA and also synonymous with, let's say,
PDF files.
Sure. And that too. So
Yeah.
all the horribleness of
Because Sydney
society.
Sweeney
And the thing
looks
is that,
young as fuck, man.
and that's the thing. They chose her for that fucking reason. They chose her because they knew that would relate to their deplorable and disgusting and degenerate goddamn, like, that's what they want. And the thing is that the one thing that kills me is this is a back to school campaign. So this is for children. This was for children.
Remember, she's 27 years old.
She is, but the
Yep.
kids that this campaign was targeted towards are not.
And by the way, she honestly looks
gotta-
like a teenager.
Correct.
Yeah, and you
correct.
gotta wonder, like, just I'm sorry, I promise I will let you talk traffic, but just that I keep watching that ad because it's like that moment where they like span up from her legs. She's doing her jeans back up. Not even that they weren't done already. So it's like she just had sex. And then she says, jeans are pasta. Hold on, I gotta get her voice right. Jeans are pasta. From
Yeah, there you go.
Man, it is legit.
You know what? The only
deliberate
thing
in
missing from
every
that ad would be
angle.
her smelling her fingers.
I know.
Right?
see-
and
but see-
also, and then doing the Roman high five.
But remember, the important thing is here that how often in the last 20 to, I mean, well, let's even go back to the 1980s where people who are well above the age of 17, 16 that portrayed younger people, when they played in movies, television shows, so on and so forth. And so it completely makes sense what GD was saying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also,
So-
wait, just what you
so-
said, sort of. Wait, I'm so sorry again. What you just
No,
said
please.
made me think of something. Is it not kind of a little bit gross that when they're trying to make shows about teenagers,
during
but they want them
Epstein's
to have, they want them to have like sex or thing on stage. They have to have older actors, obviously, but it's also like, why do you want to portray teenagers doing these things?
Yeah.
Listen,
No,
coming from
Like
somebody who
that just kind
graduated,
of
no female 14 in 2025 has boobs
Correct.
like that. Just
right,
saying.
but also just I don't want to watch teenagers having sex, but they think it's a little bit better if they have
Schmecks.
adults. Sorry, schmecks. But I think it's a little bit better if it's like it's an adult actor who looks like they're a teenager.
right?
Well,
Oh,
do you know
gross.
why they prefer that? Is because there's adult actors can work more hours. That's the only reason that they do that.
100% correct.
Oh,
No, it's true. It's true. When that's why they don't hire teenagers, because the rules are limit their hours, right? So if they
Yep.
can hire adults that look like teenagers, then boom, they've got everything that they need.
but Yoda also wait. Sorry, but also adults can do sex scenes. Teenagers
Schmack,
cannot. That's what I mean.
I'm gonna have
Sorry,
to drop you if you keep
schmacks.
messing
Good
up,
point.
because my live is
I'm so sorry. Okay.
is getting hot. So all right,
I'm so sorry.
so
Wait,
that's
drop
no
me-
problem.
drop me down
No,
and then
I'm not
bring
gonna
me back
drop
up.
you. I'm not gonna drop you now.
I'm
But
so sorry.
Traffic Man's been waiting to say some stuff. So go ahead, Traffic Man.
He has. I'm so sorry, Traffic.
This whole thing is giving Kylie Jenner 2018 Pepsi ad vibes.
It's
We've
true.
seen this kind of controversy over
Completely
the
tone
years
deaf.
many times.
Completely
Correct,
tone deaf.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. And I think the ridicule towards the actress is a little, overbearing. I mean, I get it, but at the same time,
I'm just going to say on that point, the jury's still out. I was trying to see if she
correct.
made a comment on this, because if she's really upset by her portrayal, then she would probably comment on it, or maybe she has an NDA and can, I don't know. But,
Right.
I don't want to make assumptions on either side of this.
Okay,
As
wait.
far as
I'm
I'm
sorry to.
aware, hold on,
Sorry,
real quick,
but
Jenna. As
yep,
Let
far
him
yep.
as I'm
Go
finish,
ahead.
aware,
please. Let him finish,
as
please.
as as far as I'm aware, she has not come out to the public to say one thing or another.
No.
And I
He
don't know if
has.
that's like you said, if that's like
We don't
she's
know what that means. Yeah.
restricted by an NDA,
Right.
right? Exactly. It is what it is. Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I mean. She actually did. She came out with I think a TikTok video or Instagram video. She was basically on her couch. It looked like she had been crying, but it looked like she'd been crying with like makeup on, and you could see that like underneath her eyes were a little bit black because she had makeup
I'm
on
gonna
and
look
had
this
been
up.
crying. Look it up, look it up. And the thing is that like it looked so staged, but also she was like, "Oh my god, you guys, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that." Okay, I'm gonna try and do it. But basically, she was saying that I didn't even think that it could have been portrayed that way. I'm not even like that, guys. I'm so sorry.
Right.
And also, like, I just thought I was doing a thing with jeans, and like, I'm not even like that. And then also, I have black friends, so basically, that was kind of what. No, that she didn't
So
say
here's
that,
where my
but
cynicism kicks in, is that unfortunately we no longer can even accept these kinds of apologies, because there's no way of knowing, especially with an actor or actress, whatever you want to say. We don't know whether they're being honest or telling the truth. It's like when Will Smith sat down and issued his apology to Chris Rock. I jumped all over that, because I was like, there's not one part of this that's a real fucking apology. And the way he
mm-hmm.
set up the camera with different angles and reading in his stilted, ridiculous way, I just
Yep.
didn't see the sincerity of that. And even though I haven't seen what you're referring to from Sweeney, just how you're relating it to me reeks of someone that's in spin control, and didn't say
Mm-hmm.
something really authentic. Like, but again, I'll probably look it up for myself. I'll look it up for myself.
Look it up. No, listen, Yoda. That's exactly it. And the thing was, even with Will Smith's apology, I would have been so much more satisfied if he'd have been like, "Listen, he said some shit about my wife. I got upset, and I did what I did. I'm not necessarily sorry
I
for
fucked
it.
up. I was
I'm sorry that
wrong.
it came out.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I'm not
Here's an
sorry.
apology. I was wrong. That's a fucking apology. What I did to Chris
Yep.
Rock was wrong, and I feel terrible about it.
Mm,
That to me is an apology. Not, let me explain to you all the intricacies of my fucking psychology, and fuck you. You
but
assaulted a
also,
man on
Yoda, like,
television, you piece of shit.
absolutely. But also, they live in a completely different world than we do. They live in a fucking like fantasy
Yeah,
world.
you know what part of
But
that world
but
is? A comedian at a fucking award show that makes fun of the celebrities. That's part of the world that they live in.
yeah, exactly. And
Well said.
also, sorry. So I do want to say, like, cause it when he, okay, so this is me right now talking. When he slapped Chris Rock for saying what he did, regardless of any of the all the other stuff, like of the celebrity gossip, all that shit, I kind of understood and somewhat related
Fuck that.
Wait,
Fuck that. There is
Yoda, give me a
no
sec. Give me a sec.
justification for what he did. Listen, you can talk all fucking night.
Yoda.
You're not going to convince me.
No.
Let me tell
I'm
you,
not saying it was good.
Chris Rock is a smaller man, first of all. Second of all, he was doing what every host does at an award show, which is make fun of the very wealthy, very pampered, very privileged celebrities. And he didn't even
But
say
he's
anything
also
crazy.
pampered and privileged.
I don't, but so what? So they're all in the same boat. What he did was fucking
Exactly.
wrong.
That
No, I
doesn't
agree. I
allow
agree.
that
I
doesn't allow
agree.
a grown man to walk up to you and
No,
slap you in the face like
no, I
Will
agree.
Smith
I
did to
agree.
Chris
I agree.
Rock.
Just give me a second. Let me. Okay, I'm not saying it was great or good or anything. It was a man who fucking did not have any fucking mental acuity to deal with what he was seeing and or like no
What
okay,
does that
no let me
mean?
finish.
What does that
That
mean? No,
means
no, no, no,
basically
no, not let me
maybe
finish. You're bringing up a point which is very important to what you're saying. How did you determine that he doesn't have the mental acuity to handle what he was doing? Has he never been at an award show
because
before? Has he never been made fun of
no.
before?
Okay, no, not that. But maybe listen, look, I deal with mental health issues, okay? And to be honest, I've never jumped up on a stage and slapped anyone. So actually, I'm kind of like disavowing any of my arguments because that was actually really stupid. Oh my god, I can't even believe I was trying to. Um, I basically was just saying I understand his state of mind, but also his actions and who he is.
What's
I do not
understandable about his state
understand.
of mind or his actions?
No,
First of
no.
all, we don't know what his state of mind was. What's understandable about his actions?
No, what I'm saying is it's not. I actually just kind of, in my own way, just realized that absolutely no, it's actually not excusable or understandable because,
And that
listen,
Tiffany Haddish that was like, wouldn't you want your man to protect you like that? And I'm like, protect you from
no,
fucking what?
right? A
Protect you from a
joke?
benign joke?
Listen, what I actually think it was because, like, she looked at him kind of like, are you going to let this happen? And then he felt like he had to do something and he didn't
I don't
know.
give a fuck.
No, I don't give a fuck either. I'm just
Listen, here's
saying,
the thing. Let me just say this. There have been 1,000 times in my life at least where I wanted to snatch the life from a motherfucker. And I didn't do it. So
what? No,
who
I'm just kidding.
gives
I'm
a
sorry.
fuck what he was thinking, what he was feeling, his mental state, whatever the fuck it was? Let me tell you, in my old neighborhood, that motherfucker would have wound up in a garbage bin.
You're
That's some
right. But also,
fucked up
wait.
shit, especially he picked on a smaller dude. He's a fucking piece of shit bully, and let him try that shit with me. I will fuck him up 5 ways to Sunday.
Agree.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Can
right.
I add to that?
And
I
he would
think that
never even
you
step to me because he's a fucking punk. Because only punks do shit like that.
nobody
Wait,
talks
before you go
about
blue. Wait,
your hold
before you
on.
go
Nobody
blue.
no hold on. I'm gonna hold on this one.
Okay.
Nobody put your wife down or put your husband down, someone that you love down without you drop kicking them. However, if you go into a comedy show, you know that's what you're gonna be vulnerable to, that roasting, and you gonna go. That's why you're there, because it's really funny. You let your guard down and let someone poke at you. And so to me, it was incredible. The whole thing seemed so staged. He knew that Chris Rock was going to say shit about his wife, and he planned this whole,
Yes.
I'm the superhero man. I'm going to go up there and smack it. And it was
Whatever
so
the fuck it was.
inappropriate.
But I'll tell you
It
what, I
was so
disagree
inappropriate.
wholeheartedly
But
with something that you said. If someone talks shit to my wife or my girl or my son or anybody that I know, I ain't doing shit. I'm not laying hands on somebody for fucking words. That's some bullshit. I
Wait,
said that
Yoda.
when I was 20 years old, I had this conversation with my wife. She talked about, oh, if someone calls me the B word, I'm going to smack them. I'm like, then everybody can control you. Why would you move to violence over words? That's ridiculous and childish. And I don't feel any fucking different 41 years later.
You're right. Wait, Yoda, you have a wife?
No, I had one. I had two, actually.
Had. Yeah.
Oh, so there's still a chance. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm a
All
romantic
right, all right,
person.
all
Listen,
right.
wait. Let me
He's a
just say
heart of heart.
this,
He'll
and
protect you.
then, Blue, I want
He's
you to
not like
finish.
comedy
But
show.
I am a romantic man. I am always, always on the lookout for my third ex-wife.
Ooh. Okay, Yoda. Okay, but Blue, before you go, I gotta say two things. So Yoda, I am taking applications, but also, okay.
Here
Second
we go.
thing. Second thing.
Yes. Yes.
Other
You gotta
words,
end it with the song.
Traffic man was saying the thing I didn't want to
You
say,
have
but
the
thank you,
vocals.
Traffic man.
Yes, sir.
No, you do.
Wait. Secondly, listen. Like, I know what you're saying, Yoda, but like when I love someone, and someone, okay, words. That's a different thing. You're
That's what we're
absolutely
talking
right.
about,
Words
though.
would
We're
not.
talking about words.
No, I know.
We're talking about a comedian at a fucking award show where the comedian
Yeah.
always makes fun of the celebrities, made fun of the celebrities, and this dumb fuck got up and hit him for it. Fuck that
But wait,
dude.
wait. But
No,
wait, wait,
listen.
wait, wait, wait,
Hold
wait,
on, hold
wait,
on. Let
wait,
me give
Trap,
you an
wait, no,
example.
no, let me finish real quick. What I think maybe what happened was I think that might have been staged somewhat because it was a
No,
slap and not a
no,
punch.
no,
No,
It
no,
was a
no, no,
no.
no.
slap and not a
There's,
punch,
oh wait,
but then it
hold
didn't
up, hold
go
up, hold up,
right.
hold up. Let
Okay,
me
okay,
bring
okay.
my expertise to bear here, okay? I have been in martial arts since 1977. That's a long fucking time, okay?
Also, are
And
you? Sorry, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
I know what combat looks like. I have watched 1,000 martial arts films and can point out every fake move that I see. I know what's fake and I know what's real. There was not any part of that that was fake.
Okay, okay, I get that. All right, so fair enough. So what I'm gonna say is, absolutely, you're right. That was not right. It was disgusting what he did. If I were in a situation like that, you know what I would have done? I would have walked out if I was that upset.
Well, what did
I wouldn't
Hollywood
have
do?
gone up to the
They gave him an
stage.
award and gave him a standing ovation.
Did they seriously do? Oh yeah, fuck
Yes,
Yes.
them.
Yes,
Fuck,
yes, they
literally.
fuck
absolutely
those
did.
bitches.
Literally.
Ew.
And the Academy had the nerve, the insane fucking nerve to make a Twitter post saying we abhor violence. We don't condone violence. I'm like, you manufacture violence. The
Yep.
fuck are you
Yep.
talking about?
Yep. Yep. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna not end, but I'm just gonna. Okay, you guys are right. I'm sorry. I think I was working through it with you
And
because
that's
I was
fine.
like, hey,
That's
if
what
that
I
was
do. You got to remember, I've been in sales for 41 years. I'm good at selling ideas.
you sold me you, baby boy.
Well, I wasn't trying to do
All
that,
right,
but I'm happy I did.
you heard
Well,
me. All right.
by the way, let me confess. I am always trying to make women fall in love with me. So I lied
Ding
just a minute ago
ding.
when I said I wasn't trying to do that. Okay. I'm always just in a blanket default setting, always trying to get women to fall in love with me.
Okay, Yoda admitting that makes me fall in love with you even harder. So how dare you?
It doesn't matter what I sing, as long as I sing with inflection. Makes you feel I convey some inner truth or vast reflection.
Yeah, yes, boy, yes. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, so I just want to say thank you guys for putting me on the right path with this bullshit because I was like, but the thing is, I was thinking about if anybody ever like physically threatened my mom or family or people I love, and in that situation, hell yeah, I would physically
Of
fight them back.
course.
But it's
Of
only
course.
physical, physical,
Yeah.
physical. So that I was kind of
You don't even want to know the
mistaking.
confrontations that I've had with dudes that hurt women that I care about. You don't even
I want
want
to
to
know.
know. In fact, there's some statutes about that I can't get into.
Listen, Yoda, we'll talk later.
It
But
didn't end well
So,
okay.
for
So
them. That's all I'm saying. And they're still breathing. They're still
so
uh,
walking around. and I never laid a finger on them, but I scared them shitless.
I can
All right,
expand
you
on
go
that.
traffic. Yeah.
So if we're gonna go on this topic about people that spoke poorly about our wives, so real quick, fun story. About 10 years ago, there was a young man that actually had dated my wife, and when he and I met, because we hadn't seen each other for years, and he was surprised at the time my wife and I were dating. We weren't married yet, and he said something so egregious to me about my wife, which was, "Oh, isn't she fat now?" And I got really mad because
I would have
no,
knocked him out. I'm sorry.
well, well,
That's
I
no, no,
Just
no,
so
no,
me. It's
no, no, no,
listen,
no.
it's
Look, okay,
inappropriate.
hold
okay.
on, hold
I'm
on,
sorry.
hold
I
on,
have
hold
to.
on.
I have to interrupt this story for a second.
Go ahead, Yoda.
Let him finish his
Let me
story.
explain the reality of the world that men live in. Okay, on average in America, 2 men a day perish because of fistfights. Okay,
Correct.
you don't just knock somebody out because someone could get really, really hurt, and that someone could get you. It's a last resort, not a first resort. And again, we're talking about words. And if that, and I'll
Correct.
tell you how I would have handled that real quick. I would have turned to my lady and been like, "What do you have to say about that?" Because
So
I don't need to speak for anybody. Just like I don't want people speaking for me ever, I don't need to speak for anybody else. I have too much respect for my lady to pretend that I should speak for her.
But Yoda, what if your lady
so
punched that guy in the
hold
face?
on,
That
hold
would
on,
be
hold on,
her
hold on.
choice. I
I
can't
Fair
control what other
question.
people do,
Correct.
but she'd be
I need to
wrong.
know
But
that.
she'd be
I need to
wrong.
know
Fair
that in
question.
case
But
I need to
But
know
Gina,
she
that in
but
Gina,
case I'm
she
your
would be
lady later.
just as wrong as Will Smith. You cannot move to
Damn
violence
it.
from words.
Well,
If you do, you're wrong.
in this example, and remember, I was a lot younger at this time. You know, I would not do something like this today. I look back on it and I regret what I did. But so she
but do
was not
you?
present. She was oh no, I absolutely do. She was not present for this conversation, and this young man kept picking at me, picking at me, picking at me, and then it ended up with him like laying hands on me. So then, I'm not a small human. I think we've established this many times before.
So he
And
instigated that's different
well,
though.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Mm,
hold on. So what ended up happening was he shoved me, and then I headbutted him in the face, and that was the end of it.
Well, he
So,
started
but
it.
but like I said, I don't condone my actions 10 years ago.
I
I really
do.
don't.
I do.
I mean,
I kind of
You
do
said he
too.
shoved you, right? You said he put hands on you, right?
yeah,
Bro.
no, no, correct, correct.
My
He did
dad
put
taught
hands
you
on me,
Traffic.
and
never
and
ever
and and
throw the first hit.
but remember,
Always
remember, the
defend
end,
yourself against the
the
first hit.
the ending of this was my reaction to him was my forehead to his face, and that
Okay.
ended it.
He
You know,
put hands
Traffic.
on
Wait, wait,
you.
wait, wait.
I'm
Hmm.
correct,
consistent in
Yes.
my
correct.
philosophy. I am 100% consistent in my philosophy. The moment
Agreed.
someone even attempts to put hands on me, I got
Mm-hmm.
500 different things to do to ruin that motherfucker's day real quick. I've
Mm-hmm.
been
But see,
trained in this shit.
Yoda.
and
Okay.
and,
That's
and listen,
But
powerful.
listen.
so
Damn.
I'm
That's
saying
powerful.
words,
Think about
you
what he's
got
saying.
no fucking excuse from me if you resort to
Right,
violence
right.
as a result of words. Someone goes to put their hands on you, all fucking bets are off.
And
Yep.
so I guess my whole point in this story is I kind of still feel guilty based on the fact that
Traffic.
I'm a huge human
He
being. I no
put
no
his
Yoda, I
hands
Wait,
understand.
wait,
on
wait,
Hands
wait,
I
wait.
you.
on
understand. I
you.
understand. I
Please,
Exactly.
understand.
please, please let
Self-defense.
me can
Never
I
feel
talk
bad for
to
that.
let me talk to traffic for a second,
Go
seriously.
ahead. Go ahead.
Traffic. Human to human. Listen. That is absolutely normal. Like, oh my god. A normal feeling that like sorry for doing what you did, but the thing is that you did what you did as a reaction to something that was done to you.
Is that
Okay?
dude
So
still walking
first of
around
all,
traffic?
Yeah, no, he is.
Okay.
No, he is. He is.
So
I
then
did
you're
not I did
fine.
not
You're
forehead him
fine. And
enough.
let me tell
No,
you
you're
something.
right.
If
You're
he had
right. You're
done
right.
that to me, there's a chance he wouldn't still be walking around because I don't take chances with that. Because the moment you move to violence,
mm-mm.
I assume that my life is in danger.
Right.
and I will do whatever
Mm-hmm.
the fuck it takes to make sure that I'm not the one laying on the ground at the end of it. So,
And
Yep.
see,
so here's the problem. If your only
yeah,
intention was to shove me, too fucking bad for you. You shoved the wrong motherfucker.
right. No, 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 no. Yoda, I completely agree with you.
Ding,
It's
ding,
just
ding, ding, ding.
I've lived through this like entire life of like gigantic guilt, if you will, to where
But wait.
you know what I mean. Like it's one
If
of those
you
No, I
things
get it.
where, yeah,
instigated it
yeah,
and
you
you
know,
hit
Okay, but
there's,
wait,
first,
yeah,
then you
wait,
have
y'all.
I
I
know,
think I
choice.
have. I think I have something that might alleviate. So traffic. What you're
yes.
feeling right now is called. It's called empathy. It's
Well,
also
you know,
called. No,
Mm.
wait. I'm
He's
not
right,
done.
actually. Listen.
Let me finish. What you're called empathy, because basically, when you did what you did, and now that you're feeling guilty, you're assuming that, or not assuming. Sorry, you're thinking about what you would have felt in his position. I'm assuming it's a him. But
it
let me finish.
Oh.
it's
But wait. But wait, and that's a good fucking thing. That's a good thing. You're human, you have empathy, and you're a beautiful human being. But what you did was warranted. It
no,
was not
I don't
something
disagree
that
with
you
that.
did out of malice. It was something you did out of basic. No, it was not necessarily
Right.
survival, but it was something that was like, hey, you. Every reaction. No, sorry, every action, there is a reaction, right?
It could
Sure.
have been
That's you.
survival.
So
When a dude pushes you, what
could
does
it
that
could have
mean?
been.
That's an attack, right? And that's an
Right.
attack that
Yeah.
starts a fight, right? And people perish in fights every single
Correct.
fucking day. So that
Correct.
Yeah.
means someone lays hands on me, or attempts to lay hands on me. My life is in danger. I got
Yep.
no compassion or empathy or any other motherfucking soft bullshit for that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And as F5 F313D8 in the comment says, you ended the encounter. So you ended it
I
in a
did.
way that you did it in a way that it ended the encounter. You did it in the best way possible. So
And
listen,
Joseph
try
Stalin
not
once
to feel
said, you eliminate
guilty.
the man, you eliminate the problem. So I'll go either way.
Right. No, okay.
Oh,
we're,
damn. Okay.
we're going back to Joseph Stalin.
Listen,
No, no, you're right. No,
Yikes.
if my
Yikes.
life or someone's life that I care about is in danger, I'm sorry. There's no more, Washington Heights rules kick into place, which is
Fucking right.
right.
survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
don't care
uh,
how many years I live. I could live another 10,000 years. That element in me will never go away. I can guarantee you
Same.
that.
Same. When I was a kid, my
Same.
my dad had me and my five sisters, and I remember so distinct. It might even be my first memory. And he said, "No one can touch your body. They can with their words, but not with their hand. And if they do, you, even if it's a push or they get nose to nose and their nose touches your nose, you
right.
can fight back. And I will, as an adult, take down the principal of the school or whatever, yada, yada, yada." But like he engraved that in us at such a young age that no one touches you with their physical hand, only their voice, cool. But that's
True.
not, if that provokes you to hit them first, you're invading that same rule or law
Yeah.
back.
You
So,
just sparked a memory. And it's not exactly what we're talking about, but it's sort of this whole attitude that I have. And I was called by the school principal when my son was 7 or 8, around, no, 7. He was in second grade. He told me that he needed to speak to me. And my son was a pain in the ass because he had ADHD, and he was hard to handle. Plus, he was extremely smart, which made it even harder. So I knew whatever, some shit had happened. I get there. I'm sitting across from the principal. It's just me and him in the room. And he tells me that my son got out of the school. He was like across the street at the park or some shit like that, right? And I said, okay, do you have hall monitors? He said, yeah. I said, and these are adults, right? He said, yeah. And I said, so how did he get past the hall monitors? He said, well, your son told them all like a different story and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay. So let me reflect back to you what I just heard. What I just heard is that a 7-year-old outwitted every adult in your school. Is that what you just told me? And he looks and he's like, well, yeah, I suppose I did. I said, okay, so here's the deal. I'm his father, 24 hours a day. But when he's in your building, he's your responsibility. And if my son ever gets out of this school again, you better pray nothing happens to him because I'm going to hold you personally responsible. And I was boring a hole in this guy's skull with my eyes, and lo and behold, my son never got out of the school again.
Right. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, Traffic, did you want to say something? I've got a kind of a, not a similar story, but it might take a while. So if you wanted to say something, you go ahead.
Well, real quick, real quick. Two things. One, the picture I have up is kind of like Miata for scale to kind of give you an idea of like how big I am versus normal humans. And secondly, Gina, I really hope we end this night with you singing Queen again because that was fucking awesome. Like
I
you're no no no. Listen. You have a really good talent. And I understand the other night in this live, there were things that kind of maybe, but seriously, you have a really good voice. So anyways, I'm done.
Drunk as shit.
no, I was gonna say I would love to. If you guys want to hear me sing, I absolutely will. Absolutely will.
Yes,
No, please, no, not
yes.
really. But I'm just saying, no, no, no.
I
I'm just
want to
saying the
hear
other night you
it. Are
you had a
you
really good
kidding?
voice.
Oh man, you,
I
you,
want to
you
hear
didn't
all
stick
Thank
the
the
you.
landing. You
tea.
gave her a
That's
great
like
compliment
high
and then
five.
shat all over it at the end. What's up
I
with
know,
that?
right? Then said no, not
Legit.
really.
No, no,
You're a wonderful
well,
So
person.
let
no.
me
I'm
let me
saying.
tell you
Stop.
something. As someone
What?
who loves singers, okay, I got to see Luther Vandross live. I've gotten to see some amazing singers live, right? Um, Obviously, because of the impairment, your voice was a little shaky and you weren't hitting notes. However, you were getting close to some very difficult notes to hit. So I knew, that's why I said, oh, you obviously have a good singing voice. Because,
Immediately.
Yes,
those notes
correct.
were really fucking hard to hit. So fuck the bullshit Traffic Man just said. I do want you to sing again because I
Somebody.
believe you have a great voice.
Yay!
And she went,
Listen. I
find
agree. I agree. I
me.
agree. If you decide to sing, please,
I
I'm
would
here
love
for it.
to, but I won't sing Queen. I might sing some Radiohead. Is that okay
Queen
with you
was
That
guys?
hard,
works. That
Mango, but you
works.
still did it, though.
As
Just
long
All
as
right.
as
saying.
long as it's creep, go ahead.
It's probably gonna be creep because
Yeah.
I relate to that song.
Nobody
I know
knows
it's one
any
of
other
like most
Radiohead song.
famous. Oh wait,
What
I
the
might
hell
have to
is
sing.
that?
I might
I'm a
have to
little
sing
lost
Lucky
on this
then.
music.
I might have to sing Lucky then because I love Radiohead. But anyway,
Now wait
okay,
a
so
minute. What the hell is that? I'm lost on that music.
Radiohead is a band. I think they came up in
oh
the 80s and
no,
90s, right?
Yes.
late
Yeah.
'80s,
So after
early
my
'90s.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
After
yeah.
my
And
time.
and they have this
you're
one
after your
mega
time.
hit
You're still
song
alive, bro.
that a lot of people have covered, a lot of people perform it in auditions. It's
All
definitely a
right.
challenging song vocally, but it's an amazing song.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll take
guys.
your word
Okay.
for it, Yoda. Okay.
Okay. So you know what? I'm gonna do it now and then tell my story. Is that okay?
Maybe
There was
one
some
day
Because
we'll
now
background
I
do we'll
feel
do some we'll do some karaoke on here, like some legit music backed karaoke.
I would love that. Wait, the thing is, can we get the music or no? If not, that's okay. I can
Nah,
just
I'm
do
not
it
I'm not I'm
a
not that
cappella.
ambitious.
Okay. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready?
Yes, girl.
Okay. When you were here before, I couldn't look you in the eye. Just like an angel, Whose skin makes me cry, float like a feather in the beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. Sorry, guys. I had to. Okay. I sing it. Wait. I sing it a little bit different. I don't sing it
Well,
very like. I don't sing it
let me just tell you
exactly.
so far what I'm hearing is a magical mix, and I am not gassing you. I'm telling you this is my ears. I'm hearing Billie Holiday mixed with Amy Winehouse. Anybody
Yes,
disagree with
dude.
that?
I feel it. I got it because she's singing it with
100% agreed.
intention.
Okay, I
It
love you
doesn't
guys.
matter
And
how clean it
and the little
is.
flourishes you're throwing in are just spectacular.
Second
Well,
that.
thank you. Okay, so I was worried about you thinking I was gonna sing it exactly the same way that
No, baby,
Tom
this is
York
all
does.
you. Go ahead, my third
You
ex-wife.
have this
Have at it.
intention.
Yoda, don't you threaten me with a good time. All right, okay. You guys mind if I start again?
Please, go for it.
I'll give you a note.
All right.
Oh my god, he's playing guitar.
Thank you.
Yeah,
When you
there you go.
were here before, couldn't look you in the eye, just like an angel whose skin makes me cry. Float like a feather.
Oh my gosh.
In the beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. And I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. And I want a perfect soul. And I want you to notice when I'm not around, 'cause you're so fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, she's running out the door again. Oh, she's whatever makes you happy. whatever you goddamn want. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. Oh, I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here.
All right, everybody can unmute. That was just fucking spectacular.
There it is.
I could spend the next hour dissecting your performance. I swear to you. That was beautiful.
Please do. Was it
It
okay?
was moving. Your choices were impeccable. Those little glissandos that came out of nowhere. I have said for 30 some odd years now that I Can't Make You Love Me is the saddest love song I've ever heard. And now this is the second saddest love song I've ever heard. And I never felt that way until I heard you sing it. And I'll tell you why. Part of it is part of why Bonnie Raitt's rendition was so moving is because normally in song, it's men begging women, right? And men lamenting the loss of love and all that stuff. So for a woman to do it in Bonnie Raitt's case, it turned the tables on that genre and made it more poignant. And this was like, I've heard other females sing this song, but they stayed faithful to the original. But what you infused into this song gave it a new meaning for me.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. That was a gift.
Genia, I don't know how to say your name appropriately. Is it Genia?
No, Jeannie's perfect. Jeannie's perfect.
Jeannie, that moved me to, I have tears. I literally have tears.
Yeah, I teared up. For real.
I don't know if a lot of people will understand it, but what I can say is that you sang from something not radio and very, I don't even know, man. You put meaning behind it, and every note you hit and where I wanted it to go wrong, you didn't. And it brought it up to a flat perfection of a chef's kiss or cherry on top. Like, if you don't have, it was just brilliant, in my humble opinion. And if you could ever do that and grace our honor, and I can't even believe I got to witness that raw moment in its state.
If I may
Thank
say,
you. Absolutely.
as long as I've been on Yoda's lives, or Yoda's been in my lives, or Yoda's been in other lives, I've never seen this man wipe his eyes.
I have never seen it either myself, and I feel so honored.
This is no, that was fantastic.
It was so
Well,
painstakingly
I had
beautiful.
goosebumps.
Like, it was
my balls were
perfect.
tingling. All sorts of stuff was happening.
My vagina was tingling straight up.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted, but also, like, for real, like,
that was happening.
I love you guys.
Hey,
Like,
and I'm straight, so hey, that's something.
I'm a lesbian.
Hey, girl, yeah. Listen, I'm pansexual, so I will have all of you. Okay.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I think my wife will unalive me. No offense.
No worries, no worries. But can I just say honestly, thank you guys so much because I put my entire soul into that, and I'm glad that you got that out of it.
What a gift! That was like the magic moment of my day. There's one in every day that peaks all others, and that was it right there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It reminds me of the line from Black Dynamite. Sister Betty made some collard greens and she put her ankles in it.
You put some stank in it.
That's exactly. I was gonna be like, you should put some stank on it. What? I
No,
was gonna say,
those
okay, it
choices
reminded
were,
me.
it's the easiest thing to do, which is what I do when I sing, is just replicate the song, right? That's the only
Right.
way I know how to sing because I'm not a singer. So what I do is I mimic what I hear. So it takes real talent to take an arrangement, especially one that we know so well for so many years, and put flourishes in that not only worked, but actually enhanced the original work. And that's as rare as it gets.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was raw. Raw.
I'm thank you. Like, think it's that like there are certain songs that touch me, and when I find a song that touches me and something that I feel like I can recreate, or like, not cover, because I never do covers. I take the song that has something in it that touches my soul, and I sing it the way I want to sing it, and that's
That's
exactly what it is.
artistry.
And the
That's a
thing is that,
real artist.
Yeah.
but that's the thing. Every single time I sing it, it's a little bit different, because depending on where I am, or how I'm feeling at the particular moment, it writes how I sing. Like, so my actual soul, like, directs my voice.
It came through. It came through, obviously. You know, you
You know,
have a
like
group of us in
everyone's
here that
trying
were
to.
just transfixed by it. And the reason I muted everybody is because I was at the point where I don't want any distractions. I want to hear just you. That's why I closed
Yep.
my eyes while you were singing, just because I wanted to feel every moment of that. And thank goodness TikTok records all of these lives. So I will always have that and I'll always
Oh,
love it.
Yep.
can you
Yeah.
send me that? Because I would love to hear it
Absolutely.
back. Because, like,
Absolutely.
I
So,
never, and sorry, go ahead, Traffic.
no, well, what I was going to say was I'm kind of glad that Yodi muted me because I was trying to play along with the guitar riffs to Creep, which, that is a song that has impacted myself from when I was a lot younger. And I was trying to play along to you. And I'm really glad that Yoda muted me because I would have failed on Guitar Hero so terribly.
No,
Yeah.
I
You
get it.
know,
That's the thing. Like,
no, no,
I
yeah,
change it, and it's not that I'm like I don't not mean to do it. It's just sometimes I can't necessarily go along with something that is set out in a way. Like, my voice
no,
and my soul do their own thing, and when I'm singing, that is the moment that things are happening. So I can't necessarily,
absolutely.
like, yeah, if that makes sense.
That's the beautiful thing. So we're gonna start taking final thoughts. Jeannie, I'll start with you, and then I'll go to Rumbles, and then we'll work our way around the horn. So, what are you thinking right now?
I'm honestly just thinking, I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed that, and that you actually understood what I was doing. And I don't think I've ever had this kind of reaction, and I'm so thankful for that. I just have to say thank you guys so much. You make me feel like I should not stop singing, and
Never,
I won't.
never stop singing. I'm not sure I want to hear you talk anymore. Just sing all the fucking time.
I'll just sing my, I'll
Yeah.
sing against Meg and be
We'll
like,
make it like a Broadway
listen,
play where
fuck
you just sing
you.
all your dialogue, you know?
That'd be great. Like, fuck you, Megan.
Right.
Listen,
Yeah.
you bitches.
You fuck yes.
Oh,
Fuck yes.
this
Fuck yes.
pedophile. Sorry.
That's perfect.
But no,
Well, you
I
you
love
have
you
given
guys.
us a
Thank you
true
so
gift. I
much.
really appreciate that. So have a great night, and hopefully we will see you soon.
I will also, Yoda, sup, send me that number, boy.
Hey. Do it.
All right, and let's go to Rumbles. What are your final thoughts? If you are still there,
I really enjoyed the
hopefully.
live.
Oh, excellent. Good.
I I'm still here. Yeah, Sorry I didn't interact much. I've been busy cleaning my shop.
Oh, never
There's
apologize for
been a late
doing what you
gravel
got to
down here
do.
tomorrow,
But
so
yeah, no, this is my lives go all over the place. So this is the kind of shit that I love.
well, it's like what I told you the other night. That's what I genuinely like about your lives. It's not just always one thing. It's very entertaining and it's never boring.
Thank you.
And so
Appreciate that.
I guess that's all I got.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah,
hey, join us
absolutely.
anytime, man. We're here 6 days a week, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday through Saturday. Have a great night, and let's
Yes.
go to Traffic Man next.
Yes, sir. I listen. About I'm gonna say probably about half an hour ago, I was going to try to interject a different topic, which had to do with the president firing the labor statistics chief. And I have to tell you, I'm very glad that I did not interject in that, because I mean, the live ended up being fantastic.
Yeah.
Your lives never cease to impress me.
Ah,
I mean, seriously,
thank
like
you.
for
Thank you.
real. No, out of everything else that's available on this app, I mean, your lives just are the cream of the crop. I mean, they're the best of the best, for real. I mean that. So,
I
listen,
sincerely
I have
appreciate
to
it.
get up tomorrow morning. I have to get up tomorrow morning and go to work. So, everybody, have a great night.
All right.
Danny, real quick, Danny, I apologize that I didn't join into the Friday night trivia. I'm pretty sure that Yoda probably decimated everybody.
I
Yeah, he
did
To
more
did
get a
than
good
new
job.
that. I
record.
did more than that because decimation means to reduce by 1/10, and I did more than that. I destroyed
Yeah,
everybody.
he destroyed
Okay, well
him.
there you go. Yeah. All right.
But
Listen, I was at work.
I'm glad you're working tomorrow because I need my retirement check. I need it increased.
There you go.
All right.
No,
Have a good
listen,
night.
I was working until 8 p.m. tonight. All right. Good night, guys.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. Blue.
Oh gosh, I sent you a PM a couple days ago and I was like, hey, a lot of people put in the comments, that what's the topic? What's the topic? And I try to like put two and two together and say, oh well, you need to have a background and you need to have a topic banner on the
Yeah.
top left. And I'm so humbled in realizing that authenticity is being water and going with the flow and not being structured. Um, and I pay you so much respect in that lesson learned because there are so many lives more than not where at the end I'm so touched, I'm so moved somehow, some way, because you didn't confine it to a box of four corners,
Excellent.
and then and then you've got someone. So I retract my reco of not having your sacred white background and black shirt and your consistency in it. I get it now.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
magic.
speaking of private messages, did you see that I sent you the links that I promised to send you?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't using. I will check them out right after this live, I promise.
Like 20 minutes after we ended last night, I sent them to you because I am a man of my word.
Ah, yes, sir. Oh, of course you are. All right, cool. I will check that out. But hey, you
All
know
right.
what? It just case in point, what happened with Jeannie. She is someone that comes in, and at first you want to judge, but then once you kind of chill out and just let people be people and who they are authentically, they become the most admired person in the room because they don't stand down to anyone telling them what's right and what's wrong, and they are true to who
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
And that I'm glad you muted me. I thought I
Yeah. I
was
mean,
on
that
mute.
was a fucking magic trick.
That
That's real live
was
magic that we was witnessed.
amen. And I hate even saying that word amen, but I don't really have another word for it. But it's one of those things where it's like they tweak things and sound and the way we hear things, and we try to manipulate our voices to sound what we think should be heard. It was still so good that radio couldn't even mimic that. And then her intent behind it, the vibrations came through, and I felt the vibrations, and that truly was the peak of my magic moments
Hey, you
today
know
when I
what?
go to
If you want to substitute something for amen, just get in touch with your Boston roots and go fucking A right.
bed. Fucking I man will Mayan. But thank you, because you keep bringing these magic moments to close my day out and add to my conversation in my mind when I'm grateful when I go to bed of what I do have that is wonderful that maybe other people might not have. You're always part of that conversation, and I love closing out my night with your lives. So thank
It's
you.
an honor. Thank you. Have a great night. All right, Danny. Wow, what a fucking ride we were on tonight.
Oh man, yeah. And let me tell you, Jeannie was on a roll in AC's live too. She was the last one to speak there tonight. I left right before she was the one after me, and she had the last word. And oh wow, she she was definitely on a roll tonight too. Uh, well, thank God she had. I knew she was having a good time because I could tell. Uh, Kind of remind me of the other night when she was on, but not as bad. So she was having a good time, and that's okay. It's Friday. You know, you
Yep.
do what you want to do on a Friday night. But anyway, so as you know, Sunday I'm doing a first of many, I hope, of Vet Talk. That's Veterans Helping Veterans at noon Pacific time on Sunday. So I'm really hoping that I get a good turnout. I really do.
You know I'll be there.
Yeah, and I hope that get a lot of veterans there to join up on the panel and share their knowledge. Because, like I said, I retired so many years ago that there wasn't anything really set up for us when we processed out. Kind of we found our own way. But I'm sure that they've improved, and I'd like to hear how this improvement went and see how it can help others. So that's
Right.
why I want to do this. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. Sunday, 12 noon on the 3rd of August, right here on the same station, same channel.
And, what you're doing is a reflection of your bottomless compassion, your humanity, your heart, your soul, everything. That's why it's such an honor to be associated with you in any kind of way. So thank you for that. Thank you for what you're doing for all of us. You are the patriarch of this little family, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I appreciate that. If I'm not the patriarchy, at least I know I'm the grandpa of this family anyway.
Yeah. Well, not patriarchy, patriarch. So yes, Grandpa, you're the father figure to us all, and it's a wonderful thing. I never got to meet either of my grandfathers, and I know that chronologically you couldn't be my grandfather.
No, no, but
Symbolically, you
I'm the oldest
still are,
brother.
because I just decided you fucking are, so that's it.
That's it. That's it. But I'm proud to be that, and I'm also proud to be your older brother.
Yeah, that
So,
works. That works too. All right, Danny. Always wonderful. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully.
oh yeah, if you're on tomorrow night, I'm going to end up showing up.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
See ya.
Have a good night. Everybody, if you're not following Danny, you're a fucking jackass, and I have no problem saying that because the guy's heart is as big as the universe. We need more of that in our lives. So, and I don't mean TikTok lives, I mean our real fucking lives. All right. What can I say that hasn't already been said? This was fucking unbelievable. I'm still buzzing from the evening, and my guess is that I'll be up a while, and um, I will. What I'm going to do is download the episode, and I'll isolate that section of it, and I'll make it available on YouTube, and everybody that wants to see it can see it and hear it. I think I'll even cut out the video because who needs to see my fat fucking face while Jeannie's singing? So I'll just put up the audio so everybody can enjoy it, and this magic moment will be with us forever. So with that, thank you to everyone, every single one of you that hung out with us the whole time, for the tapping, for the gifting, for the sharing, for the comments, everything, for the fact that you gave your precious time to this talking monkey with opinions. I will never be jaded about that. I will always be grateful. So with that, peace, love, and granola. Have a good night.